Our reaction is we're disappointed because it's our view that the policy is wrong, and this is all of agriculture issue. It's not just an issue that affects the livestock export industry, it affects all of agriculture.
So how hard would a ban on live sheep exports hit your industry?
Well, where the impact would be most felt is in Western Australia. You're looking at around 3,500 job losses in the West alone. But not only that, you're looking at a decrease in the value of the sheep industry overall nationally. And then, of course, the other aspect to it is we run the risk of damaging our relationships with our key trading partners irreparably over this, because they rely on us for food security.
So the government is announcing, looking at what's happening today, it's announcing who'll be on the independent panel looking at how the ban would be implemented. What do you want that panel to consider? What would you say to them?
Well, on Wednesday this week, we sent a letter alongside 25 other peak agricultural bodies, including the National Farmers Federation, national livestock industry bodies and all the state farming organisations. And we made it very clear in that letter that the manner in which we'll engage with that consultation is we'll be putting forward the reasoning why the policy is incorrect. We won't be contemplating a discussion about how to transition out of the trade because quite simply it can't be done.
But how do you counter arguments that live export of animals is cruel? Those pictures of distressed, dead and dying animals on an export ship stick in the minds of many people. You say such a ban would be wrong. What would be your argument to those people who say it's just simply cruel?
What I'd say to that is we can never walk away from those images. They were terrible, but they happened 5 to 6 years ago, and in that time there have been significant reforms by the industry. We no longer ship during the northern hemisphere summer rather. There's improved ventilation on vessels, there's better stocking densities to help minimise the risk of heat stress, and we have had no issues since that event, zero. But what I would like to say is, as an industry we have reformed, and if this policy is carried through, the message it sends to every agricultural industry in Australia is that if you have a challenge with your social licence and you reform and you address it, you can still be shut down for political purposes, and that alarms every single agricultural industry in Australia.
So with the government seemingly determined to push this ban through, Mark, albeit after the next election, have your members been adjusting your farming techniques, your business and trade, buying fewer sheep, for example, with it seems like this ban is going to go through?
Well, it's too early to start doing that. I mean, the consultation that Minister Watt will be announcing today, that's a process that we must work through. And then, of course, the implementation won't be happening until the next term of government, which we welcome. So what we need to do, and the other thing is, our markets will continue to buy sheep during that time, because the one thing that doesn't wane is international demand for livestock. Our markets demand livestock for a range of reasons, be they cultural, logistical, and one of the main reasons they look to Australia is because we're reliable to fulfil their food security needs. So there will be no adjustment or preparation in the meantime, because quite simply the demand's there, and that's why we'll continue trading.
Down the track, Mark, do you expect other animals other than sheep to come into the government sites when it comes to live exports?
Well, the government has made it clear that they're not interested in shutting down live cattle, for instance. But this policy has been driven by an animal activist agenda. It's been adopted by the government. So while I guess we welcome the government's willingness not to look at cattle, it's very cold comfort for those other industries, because the precedent that this would set is just terrible, and they should be worried.